It's never been easier to purchase IELTS books with the show. Just go to tiki.vn, and with just one mouse click, you'll be able to find the perfect IELTS books you've been waiting for. Purchase anywhere and receive discounts. Go to tiki.vn and buy. IELTS Face-Off is back again for another week, and I wonder what the clue is this week. Oh, I see a little kangaroo. Is it about Australia? Oh, there's another clue. All right, well, this is very dancey. Maybe it's about the globe or something. Oh, oh, I don't see any other clue, but there is this clue. Oh, aloha. Okay, I think this might be about culture, or it might be about travel, or it might be about, global integration. I wonder what it is, but I think my guest is right here, so I'm gonna check him out.
Hello everyone, my name is Nguyễn Quang Đạt. I started flying as a pilot when I was 19, and I became one of the youngest captains in the country when I was 24. My favorite quote is, believe in yourself, working hard, and you can do anything you want.
It's a pilot. Maybe it's about flying. Oh, but he's really good looking. I bet he's really popular with the ladies. Let's go see him. And this is the IELTS Face-Off studio again, but there's an industry where people meet new people every time they go to work. And our guest is right there. Hey, Captain, so nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you. My name is Đạt.
My name is Phoebe. And
how are you today?
I'm good. I think I'm going to be your assistant flight attendant today.
Right. I have to say you look beautiful.
Well, thank you. So do you.
We're ready here, so whenever you're ready, we can start boarding. Let's
okay, so let's board our plane. So we're back in the studio of IELTS Face-Off Season 3, and right now, my guest is Nguyễn Quang Đạt. He's a very, very handsome pilot.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm sure a lot of you guys are very excited to hear his story, so welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
Of course. How long have you been flying in total? I remember it's like ever since you were 20 years old?
Actually, I started flying when I was 19. So it was pretty much 7 years now. Yeah.
Flying for so long, do you identify yourself as a pilot, as a captain, or do you identify yourself as like a 28, 27-year-old guy?
That's a really good question. Back to when I got the invitation from IELTS Face-Off, I was asking myself, what should I wear? Should I wear a uniform, or should I be very casual? Because people have been referring me to as a captain. And I would really like people to see me as just a 27-year-old guy, I have a lot of other interests, like I love traveling, I love reading. My life is just not only about flying, but yeah, it's difficult. Because when people see me, they would start asking questions about flying, how do I start my flying career?
I'm probably one of those people as well.
Yeah, I kind of expected that.
Okay, so let's not talk about flying for now, but maybe let's talk about when you first started out. Were you ever scared that this wasn't the career path for you?
When I first applied for my job, I wasn't that worried. Maybe I was too young, didn't really know anything. But I remember the first time when I got to New Zealand, so I did my training in New Zealand. The first night I actually got there, I remember was sitting in a Korean restaurant with my new colleagues. That was when the reality hit me. Like, okay, now you're gonna start a whole new world in a new country, with a new career. You don't know if you're gonna make it. It was actually really scary that night. But luckily now, things have been working out pretty well for me.
What's the best food you've had so far on a plane while working?
People expect me to being served with really nice food on the plane. But the fact is I bring my food to work.
Really?
So yes, I have a little lunchbox, really childish lunchbox, with some yellow pattern, and I always have to hide it in my professional pilot bag. And because on the plane, you got sick of food on the plane after a while, it's never changed. And maybe it's okay if you fly once in a while, but for me, Nah.
People say, you know, a pilot's job is very, very exciting. It's very interesting because you get to sit in this place, you know, you don't have a lot of people bothering you, you get to go to all of these places. Would you consider your job to be quite easy?
Yes and no. As you said, sometimes when you stress about something about your personal life, going to work actually is quite relaxing. When you start working, you close the cockpit door, you switch your phone to off, and you concentrate on what you're doing. You don't have to worry about everything that's going on below you because you are up 36,000 feet high. Yeah, that's the good part. And another good part about being a pilot is when you finish work, you go back home and you be 100% yourself, like with your family, with your friends. You don't really have to think about work anymore. I think that's a really good part about being pilot. But also, it is a very difficult job. There are moments that I really hate my job.
Oh, that's
Do you know when?
new. Let me guess.
Yes.
So let's say you might not like your job when you have to fly every day.
A little bit, but not so much.
All right, and then the second guess is, let's say if you were in a relationship and you're always flying for a long time, then your significant other might get very angry because that person is not able to see you.
Sometimes you need a break from a relationship.
Ooh, okay.
It's true, right?
All right.
If you see your significant other every day, maybe it's get tiring. So yeah, no.
I actually don't know what a 20-something-year-old guy is doing seeing their significant other every day, though. That's my question to you. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's for another point. So is that sort of correct?
It's actually,
Not
no.
really.
You know, that moment actually happens more often than you think.
Yeah.
I have like 4 days on, 2 days off. In those 4 days on, it's always really early, like 4:20, I need to be at the airport. So I have to be up like 3. I literally have to wake up, sit on my bed calmly, because all I can think of, oh, I really hate this job. I really hate something that makes me wake up at 3 a.m. Another thing that makes this job really difficult is you have to be away a lot. Being a pilot means you get to travel a lot. But the thing is, after a while, after maybe 1 or 2 years, you kind of get enough. One of the places I hate the most is the hotel.
Oh.
I just hate packing. I just hate bringing clothes to a suitcase and you travel from hotel to hotels. It's actually very, very tiring. That's 2 things make me sometimes really hate my job. But overall, I can say that being a pilot has been amazing to me. It's great experience. I got to see a lot of places, meet a lot of people from other countries, other cultures. It's great.
Now, a lot of people think you have a great job. You also have, you know, a great life, and a lot of people idolize you because, you know, you're one of these guys that's kind of like trailblazing the whole industry, you know, and always basically arguing for judgment of people's abilities and not necessarily their age or nationality. Do you feel like that is a lot of pressure?
Actually, I used to a lot. Feel the pressures of impress everyone, because when I first got upgraded to captain, I was 23 years old. So when I fly with a college from, I don't know, Australia, America, Europe, I feel the need that I need to impress them, but probably not anymore, because I think now the important is you happy with what you do and you happy with the outcome of your job. So I do everything for myself now. I would do everything to actually finish work, going back home and feel good about myself. So that means, you know, making sure everyone have a pleasant flight. It's actually a really nice feeling.
We're going to continue conversations with our captain, Nguyễn Quang Đạt, in just a little bit. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And I do know that you're quite popular with the women, with the girls.
I don't know that. I don't know.
A lot of people have asked me to ask you,
Yeah.
what is your ideal type of woman, and are you single? I can imagine them giggling right now.
I am now happily single.
All right.
Yes. And I am now available. I keep telling people that I don't really have a type, because I think a lot of people believe that they have a type. But when it comes to love or affection, I've felt to myself a lot of time being in a situation that you like someone and you don't expect it. That's why I said I didn't believe in like my type. But I have to say, I really like smart women. Like, I love to just watch a woman passionately talking about something that she likes. It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
So,
Ladies, take
yeah.
note. All right. So you did say that you read a lot. What is one of your favorite books up until this point?
I do have a lot of books that I like, but on the top of my head now, I really like the Alchemist. It's so popular to a lot of people. The storytelling is very natural, but it has a lot of ideas inside. I just love it.
So if you were to share with our audience, what's that one or two phrases that you really, really identify with? What are those phrases?
My favorite quote would be, your wings already exist, all you have to do is fly. That is so relating to my career anyway. There's a lot of opportunities for you to become great. And all you have to do is believe in yourself, do a lot of work, and eventually, some days, will all pay off. That's one. Another thing is, it's for someone who's still deciding what they want to do in their life. So the quote is, do the thing that you love so you don't have to work a day in your life, because every day you go to work, it's going to be such an enjoyable time.
I think those are two very, very fantastic phrases. I think it all comes to show the value of taking action and also the value of really trying to do something that you love.
Yep.
Now that we're talking about basically having wings and flying and really doing what we love, one of the things that I love to do is to participate in the IELTS challenge. So I'd like to invite me to go on the IELTS challenge plane, and then let's see how you like this plane ride.
Sure.
So ladies and gentlemen, IELTS challenge with our lovely pilot, Nguyễn Quang Đạt, coming right up next. Don't go away. This is the IELTS challenge, and I'm here with our captain, Nguyễn Quang Đạt, and I can see his smiley face, and I'm sure he's a little bit nervous for our next challenge. So we have our water. You're going to balance both of those buckets in your hands along with the book on your head. Are you ready?
I guess.
As a captain, you have to be really good at balancing, right?
We'll see.
Oh, we'll see. All right.
Yes.
Begin, and then I'll give you a couple of other instructions.
Okay. That's really heavy.
Okay, now I'm going to put this on top of your head for you to balance. All right. Now, you got to balance it, walk back and forth just a little bit, and announce as if you're a captain of this water ship.
Oh, okay, good. Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nguyễn Quang Đạt. I'm your captain speaking. Welcome aboard on this IELTS FACE-OFF flight today. And flying with me this lovely afternoon is my co-pilot, beautiful, sexy Phoebe Chen. And today, our flight time is going to be 30 minutes. And hopefully I can hold it, in the next 3, not for the whole flight.
Okay, now is the time for the co-pilot to give the pilot instructions.
Okay.
The co-pilot saying the captain should be turning around in 2 circles.
Well,
Clockwise.
normally I would be the one that gives you command. But because you're a beautiful, confident woman, I'll give you this one.
I think you just completed half. You have one more. You're going to do one more time.
If you're gonna do one more time, you have to do it on the other way.
Fantastic. Okay, now the final challenge is for you to maintain the balance and put the water down and get the book off your head while announcing to the crew.
Cabin crew, prepare the cabin for landing. A soft landing. Yay! I did it.
What did you think of that exercise?
It's actually not that difficult.
No, right?
No. You
sure.
should try it. Maybe you should try it for fun. Come on.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's do one turn.
Okay. All right, so now I'm the captain.
Yes. And you have to say the welcome speech to the IELTS FACE-OFF show. Right.
Oh my God, okay.
You got 5 seconds. Start
Ladies
now.
and gentlemen, welcome to the IELTS FACE-OFF flight. This is your captain speaking.
Do one turn.
Today, we're flying over China, Hong Kong, Macau. The temperature looks good and it's a little bit windy, but just fasten your seatbelts, stay calm, and we'll get you through this flight as safely as possible. Sit back, relax, enjoy your flight.
Oh, beautiful. Bravo.
Ooh. Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah.
So I'm still a good one.
Yeah, you're still good.
Okay, so I like this game, and I think it's so fun to have you here today. Can you come back next season?
If I can arrange it, yeah, sure. It has been great fun with the IELTS FACE-OFF.
There's no if in IELTS FACE-OFF. IELTS FACE-OFF is about yes or no, or I will definitely try to make it happen.
All right, so I'm definitely gonna make it happen season 4.
Okay, so you've been recorded and you made a promise. All right, so nice to see you here today.
Next, here comes to IELTS on the go. Let's say hi to Khánh Vi and her journey to Hạ Long City. In this episode, we have 2 young boys from Hạ Long High School for the Gifted. One of them will be challenged with the real-time speaking test, facing off our IELTS expert. But first, let's get to the studio to meet our IELTS expert right now.
Every episode, we definitely need to have the IELTS expert to come in and share with us tips, of course, and advice on the IELTS exam. So Richard is here again today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me, Phoebe. Great to see you.
Yeah. Now let's take a look at the student that's going to be on during our IELTS on the go, because this is a student that has lived in Hạ Long most of their life. So let's take a look. IELTS on the go, where are you? It's never been easier to purchase IELTS books with the show. Just go to tiki.vn, and with just one mouse click, you'll be able to find the perfect IELTS books you've been waiting for. Purchase anywhere and receive discounts. Go to tiki.vn and buy.
Hey guys, today I am joined by 2 lovely students from Hạ Long High School for Gifted Students, and welcome on board the H team! Alright, would you mind telling us more about yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Hoàng Việt Hưng. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Hạ Long High School for Gifted Students.
Hey guys, my name is Phạm Minh Hiếu. I'm 16 years old and I'm class 10 of English, Hạ Long High School for Gifted Students, of course.
Okay, welcome to IELTS FACE-OFF. Thank you so much for taking me to this cool place. So I want to ask you guys, when did you guys realize that you are good at English compared to other subjects?
Back when I was about in grade 3, my mother realized that I like to watch cartoon in English. So a friend of her who is an English teacher decided to teach me. So she taught me from grade 3 to when I was in grade 5, and the life just go on, and I will start learning English until now.
Wow. So you watch cartoon?
Yes, I watch a lot of cartoon.
What is your favorite one?
My favorite one probably be Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah.
All right, later on we will have some duet with Phineas and Ferb theme song. All right?
Okay, that is amazing.
Okay, how about you?
I don't really think that is called good at, because when I was in primary school, I'm bad at every single subject, and I find that the least difficult subject is English, so I started learning.
Yeah. When you feel like English is the least difficult subject, it means that you're good at English. I heard that you learn English from playing games. How is that?
Well, I play games a lot, and I play it as international server. So I met a lot of other people, other players from other countries. English is the most popular language, so I started to communicate with them by English. So that's made me better in speaking and listening.
Wow. How long have you been learning English from playing games?
I started learning English from playing games from about grade 4 until now.
Grade 4 until now, like a couple of years. Wow. Which skill do you feel the most confident of?
I will be focused on listening and speaking.
Yeah. So would you mind giving us one tip in terms of speaking?
Just speak a lot. Find your friends and ask them to speak English with you.
I agree.
The skill that I'm most confident at is listening.
Listening?
Yeah, because I've been listening to English since I was really small. Listen to cartoons, so it helped me to listen better.
So would you mind looking at the camera and give the viewers one small tip to improve their listening skill?
To improve your listening skills, I think that you should listen to the tapes and the music again and again until you can completely understand what the speakers are saying.
All right, thank you. Okay, so before we end the show, I have one thing to tell. That is, when you come to IELTS FACE-OFF, IELTS on the go, one of you will have a chance to take an IELTS speaking test with the show. And who will that be?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Who is that one?
It's gonna be me.
Oh, all right. So you will be the one who take the IELTS speaking test.
Yes,
Are you nervous?
a little bit.
A little bit. Have you ever taken the IELTS test?
Just a mock test, not a real test.
And here is also the mock test, but you will learn a lot from that.
Yes.
So wish you best luck. High five. Off you go. Good luck. And we will watch over that guy.
Our contestant for the IELTS Face-Off section today is already there. His name is Hung. Are you ready to face off?
I am. Let's do it.
We have the name of Voice of this week, Việt Hưng. You are surely looking forward to checking out his performance. And our IELTS expert from the British Council, Richard, will bring you lots of useful tips to master the IELTS skills. And in this episode, we will discuss about reading tips. And the book of this week is Top Tips for IELTS Academic, featuring tips and strategies. The next part of the show is super cool, so don't go anywhere. The show will be continued right now.
Hello, my name is Richard. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Hi, my name is Việt Hưng.
Now let's start with part one. Why do some people prefer to eat alone?
Well, in my opinion, some people like to eat alone because, for the first reason, they can enjoy themselves more, they can read books and play games, do anything that they like without annoying the other people. The second reason is that they can choose whatever they like to eat without worrying that the person who eat with them do not agree.
Now let's move on to part two. I'm going to give you a topic. You'll have a minute to think about it, and you can make some notes about that if you wish. I'd like you to describe your idea of a vacation away from home. Okay, thank you. Can you start speaking now, please?
Two of my favorite hobbies are traveling and trying different cuisines in different places. So my idea of a vacation is a food tour around 3 famous cities in Vietnam. They are Ho Chi Minh City, Da Nang City, and Hội An City. I've been planning this vacation for a really long time. However, for some reason, I'm not able to do it. Like my learning schedule, and sometimes my parents decide that I'm not mature enough to go on my own. A lot of people say that going with companies is an excellent way to enjoy a holiday. Therefore, I decided that I will go on this trip in my first year of college with my classmates. Why? Because classmates, they share the same interests, and they always want to have this vacation for a really long time. During our trip, we'll enjoy the specialities of each city, like mì Quảng, hủ tiếu, and the famous bánh mì, the iconic food that many people all around the world know about Vietnam. The main transportation that we will use during this trip is motorbike. We will make this trip a road trip. During our trip, we can stop whenever we want. We can take picture of the scenic view during the way. And it's gonna be a really interesting road trip. And this will be an unforgettable experience for all of us.
Now let's move on to part three. Why do you think tourism is so developed now?
First reason is because in many countries, pollution is a big problem. So we try to reduce that by reducing industry and focusing more on tourism, as it a non-smoke industry. The second reason is that people nowadays has more time. They don't have to work a lot like before, so they have more time for tourism.
Okay, thank you very much. That's the end of the speaking test.
Thank you. Hi.
Sit here, sit here, sit here.
Okay.
How do you feel now?
A little bit excited.
Excited?
Yeah.
Because you did well?
Not really, but I think it's okay.
And now let's hear some comments from the British Council's experts.
All right, so Richard, what do you think about Hung's performance?
Okay, well, it was a very confident performance. In terms of pronunciation, he's got some good chunking of his language. He knows when to pause to help his listener understand, the content of what he's saying. Also pretty good in terms of intonation. Very little hesitation at all, so his fluency was fantastic.
Congratulations for doing such an amazing job.
Thank you so much.
And keep up the good work. Still playing game and learning English?
That's a good habit.
Yeah, I think so, if you know how to manage your tongue.
Yeah.
And watch some cartoon.
Yeah.
All right, it's fun talking to you. And before you leave, I have some gifts for you. The gifts from VTV7
Whoa.
and the British Council. All right, so the red one is for Hyo. Thank you so much for joining us.
That's a pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
All right, and here is the tips and tips section of IELTS FACE-OFF coming up next.
So with every tips, and tips section, it will never be complete without an expert advice. So what is going to be a reading tip for this week?
A reading tip for this week, we're talking strangely enough about translation, which for some people is a controversial kind of idea, but it can actually be very useful. The suggestion that I often make is that you have a reading text that's interesting for you or you want to use later, translate it into your first language, put the translation and the original away for 1 week. After a week, take your translation and then untranslate it back into English. After that, take a look at what you've written and only then compare it to the original. And this is the quickest way for you to see where your English varies from the original text. Great way to find those collocations, great way to prepare a model writing task for IELTS as well.
I think that's a very, very interesting idea. Now, talking about the global experience, talking about being a globetrotter, do you have any idioms to share?
Any port in a storm.
Yeah.
You know, when things are not going so well and you just need to find a little safety somewhere and it really doesn't matter where. Any port in a storm is the expression to use there.
Oh, fantastic. Love them. And of course, always, every week we have book suggestions for you. And here is this week's book suggestion.
The book of this week is Top Tips for IELTS Academic. This book features tips and strategies written by IELTS examiners. It is quite short, only 95 pages, and is easy to understand. There are not as many practice opportunities compared to other books, so it is most effective to use this book in tandem with a practice test focused book to put the strategies and tips into practice. There is a CD-ROM with a full interactive practice test and several speaking interviews.
So if you're wondering where you can get those books, if you've been following our show, you'll know to find them online. A great site to look for these books is tiki.vn. Go there, search for the book name, get them delivered to your doorstep. Thanks, Richard, for coming by and for
thank
sharing
you.
with us your idioms.
It's been great. Thank you so much.
Well, a plane has definitely taken our guests far and wide today. But even though you're not a pilot or a captain, you can be the captain of your own ship and the world can be our oyster. So just grab those little oysters and enjoy them. And until next time, I love for you to eat as much as you can. We'll see you every week, 9 p.m. on BTV7. Ciao, ciao, ciao.